Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be covering Airbnb and RIVIAN. So you can basically buy your RIVIAN car to drive it to your Airbnb. Life is going to be great. We got a hit and a miss. So I want you guys to throw down the comment section of which of the company you think hit and which one do you think missed. So we're going to start off with Airbnb. And based on this graph, not looking where it is, post market, we're gonna basically give you what I thought was gonna happen into earnings, or what I was looking into earnings, and then where I would be betting if I didn't know the result. So look on the daily chart. Simplest thing for Airbnb. You have a doji candle on the previous day. We're basically going to close a doji. You're in a price action zone. MACD is significantly extended to the upside. So I do see the MACD piece being very bullish just because you have large separation. RSI was a little weak. It was barely above the 50 mark, and you had a pretty significant push up with no pullback. So either one, I'd be looking to short the earnings. Two, look to fade the earnings, but I would not be going long at this point. I'd be looking for a gap fill back here, maybe coming back down to the 120 mark before I even consider buying the company. I didn't like the triple topping on the MACD just because that next push would probably be a little bit weak in my opinion. So now, what do you guys think Airbnb did on earnings? Again, throw in the comment section below. As you can see here, it had a horrendous reaction. Keyword reaction, guys. So as you can see here, if we pull up the earnings, they had a miss on EPS, but I put zero stock in EPS. EPS is probably the most manipulated number out there. They actually had a surprise beat on revenue. They were estimated 1.7 billion, beat by 1.1. So really came down to the guidance. And from what I saw, their guidance was basically mixed and maybe just didn't meet up to market expectations. So now, we already had a bearish tone going into the earnings. I said 120. This thing basically came back and said, I'm going to fill every gap. I'm coming back to, right now it's trading at $111. So if we go back to where you are now to look where $111 is, I'm actually going to snap a horizontal line for you guys at $111 roughly. So we can see here, I'm going to make this nice and white. We're now actually in where we'd be looking as a buying opportunity possibly. What I don't like is you're going to make a localized lower low if you close below $107.66. So that's what I'm going to be looking out this morning to see, one, where the stock is trading, and two, I'm going to make a localized lower low. Now, really, if we're going to be critical about the localized lower low, you have to get back above $116.81 to really be not a lower low in a sense, because you've had higher low, higher low, higher low here. And to be honest, it really is that 116, 117 area that you need to get above rather than trying to price target this low area down here. So earnings reaction was pretty bad. It's going to be an earnings gap. I don't think you're going to fill it. To me, if you're looking to buy this company, and I don't think Airbnb is a good time to buy when you're going into what could be a possible recession. Like I'm giving you the hypotheticals here. I don't like how the MACD has an absolute monstrosity of a downturn here to here. You had this big push up here. You're having previous price zone. So you're just not really making any advancement in the chart. And let's just go to a weekly. Let's make this as plain and simple. So if I look at the weekly, I'd be looking bullish on the company. But the thing is, when you're trading now down into this level, this weekly is going to get invalidated. We covered this in yesterday's video when we covered PacWest and Western Alliance, that when we saw the MACD trying to pinch together but hasn't officially pinched, anything can play out, especially earnings. E means exit, guys. It doesn't mean go all in. So looking at this, where could I possibly find support? And I'm going to give you the bullish case, and then I'm going to give you the bearish case after. For me, at a minimum, I'd be looking to come down to at least the $103 level. And that's where I would find the company to be appetizing as that. And let's quickly just jump over the SMAs just to give us a little more definition of where we could find more price structure. So looking at the SMAs, I was saying 103, 102, that would be breaking all the SMAs. So you basically have to hold 110, 109. You're only $1 off as of the time of this recording last night. When you guys are watching it, Airbnb may be higher. Now, if you basically print, in my opinion, 109.40 or lower, you're basically gonna self-fulfill. You're gonna come take out this low right here, and then you're just gonna be bearish overall because you're gonna be below 3 moving averages. Now, if I was bullish, this is where I'd be buying. I'd basically be buying right at the 200 daily or the 50 weekly and having a tight stop loss basically Probably if I bought at the 200, I'll put it right at the secondary low here. That's 3.85%. But then again, you're trying to buy a company that just fell on earnings from the close of the day to roughly where you basically be buying. That'd be a 12% sell off. So definitely could be exaggerated, or it could basically stay down there. I wouldn't expect most of a candle. I expect the doji on the day today. Not really a lot of strong price structure. And basically, if you crack, let's say that 106, 109 area, it's pretty much a straight waterfall down to the 83s, probably consolidating sideways, stair stepping down. But I wouldn't be looking bullish on the company at that point. Once you're below 3 of those moving averages, that's it, get out. Now, bearish side, guys. You break the 106, you basically just go long-term short all the way down to the bottom. And really, if you want to be very technical about it, you could basically go from this localized high to here. You break about, it's going to be that 111. So you're already breaking it post earnings. So if you close below that trend line, you basically go short, going bearish on the company and just have a tight stop loss. That's how I would necessarily play it. But right now, I would not be touching this company with a 200-foot pole until it shows me basically consolidation at a support area. I wouldn't necessarily try playing it before it got there. It's kind of going to self-fulfill. You may get some price appreciation, so don't FOMO in. You got CPI tomorrow. So all these things compounded, you could break a lot of price structure, but you can also recreate or regain that price structure. So be very, very cautious when trading this company. It would not be out of the realm of question for this company to fall an additional 5-10% from where it is currently, just because if it starts breaking price structure and people just fear out, especially with looming recession fears. Then now you may think it's overblown, but here's the thing. If the vast majority of people that are selling the stock think that, it's pretty difficult to catch a falling skyscraper. Just my opinion on it, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that. And now we're going to go over to RIVIAN. So guys, we're actually going to cover this exactly how we just covered AIRBNB. I'm going to tell you before looking into the extended hours trading, what I was thinking on the stock. So clearly you have basically a MACD divergence on the stock. Price is going lower, MACD is going higher. So I'm seeing bullish intonations. We've stopped also going down. So there's progress here. We're running up into earnings. That's giving me a little bit of pause. However, on the day, you basically have sideways consolidation. So you could be coiling in this area to rip up basically that $14.76 all the way to $15.34 is where I'd be basically targeting my profit region for RIVIAN at this point, because you had that MACD divergence. You basically are having that nice push up. RSI is going upward. So I may be looking for that continuation through earnings, but I also would be cautious. I want to make this a very large position, basically breaking $13.31. I'm out. And probably today, I would try to maybe get in at the midsection of the body of the candle, just to kind of time basically a 1-to-1 risk to reward short term for earnings. But this is setting up to be a more interesting play than AIRBNB, where basically there I was just looking at downside potential. I see a equal split leaning more towards the bullish side, just because you finally stop going down. I've covered RIVIAN and I basically said until it breaks essentially this downtrend that it's had here, and you guys can go and take a look at our video that we put on RIVIAN back then. Until you broke that downtrend, that it was a descending wedge, you broke the downtrend, so congratulations, now you stop going down, you are starting to go sideways. And I think this earnings is going to be a big catalyst for where you go next. So let's jump in and see what it did in after hours trading. And shockingly, it's up absolutely massively at after hours trading. So let's just dive into this and see what the charts are telling us, where we're trading at currently, where we're going. So as of the close, RIVIAN was up basically on the day. If we go from previous close to close of the day, basically 0.5, you're basically flat on the day. You had a decent sell-off from the previous day, but the closing price to now, you're up about 5.62%. You are starting to catalyze up into that area that we basically talked about previously, that I'd be looking maybe as a profit-taking opportunity. And so I'm going to snap a line right there. And let's go back to the daily. So Now, you kind of are shy, but you're hitting that price action zone. So on open, if you're in Rivian, combined with the MACD being significantly separated, RSI probably going up into that oversold territory, I would be taking profit. This is where I wouldn't be getting greedy. You had a nice big run. If you got into earnings, that's a nice profit. If you got near towards this bottom, let's say you got all the way down on this first push up, probably let's say you time the bottom, you're looking at a nice 20% profit. I take that any day, guys. I think Rivian has potential now. I said in the previous video, once you start breaking that descending wedge, you definitely have potential to the bullish side. I had pretty good earnings, but I would like to see a pullback. I would basically say, hey, I'm going to take my profit and go from there. Just because you haven't really cleared some of these bigger hurdles. Let's say the big hurdle is going to be that $21 price point where you really have a nice big push up. I wouldn't expect to see maybe a significant pullback depending on when the stock closes on Wednesday. But however, I really want to see what it does with this price action zone. It could easily just plow through it. This is a kind of what I would classify as a meme company a little bit, kind of in the realm of Tesla and all these other companies. I think it trades better than Tesla right now just because you've had so much price depreciation. Now it's showing maybe some life coming back into the company. Now, full disclosure, don't take this as trading advice. It's just it's my opinion of Rivian. If I were to buy an EV company, it's probably this one, just because I think it has a little bit better future than Tesla or NIO or any of them. Because one, you don't get the Tesla drama, and actually the cars look pretty dang nice. But I digress. Looking at this area, it's the first big push up. You're going to have people wanting to take profits. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do so. Maybe even fill partially that earning gap, coming back to the consolidation of the $14 and pushing off there. You'd be having a pretty nice price appreciation. If we jump over to the SMAs, you can pretty much see where I was saying you have this gigantic descending wedge that forms from this previous point. So that's your true hurdle. However, you are above the 50 daily moving average now. So if you close above $13.95, that's going to be a significant hurdle that you got over, and Rivian could keep going. I think you're going to have a pullback. I would love to see a pullback to $13.95, or basically a retest of the 50 daily moving average. That would be like the ultimate get over resistance, back tested, form support, and continue higher. I'd be looking to take profit, like I said, now, and then continue to the upside after I retest that 50 daily moving average. And here's the thing, you take profit now, you're probably going to get a retest of that 50. If it holds, you buy back in, you have confidence going in to the next push up or the longer term, because it's now showing, one, you're breaking resistance, you're forming price structure, you're turning bullish. If you're failing to do that, guess what? Congratulations. You just made 20, 15, 10% even, and you took your money, ran, and you look for the next opportunity. But out of the two companies we covered today, this one was definitely more interesting, as I would say, and I think it has a better profit opportunity metric versus AIRBNB that I would just basically look to the short side. I wouldn't be looking to the long side necessarily. The weekly on the MACD is looking promising. You're having that price appreciation, but however, remember, this could be a massive A to B, B to C leg that if it completes, actually we're going to take this to where we were roughly before. This completes around the $10.68, basically making a new lower low. Just keep that in mind, just basically giving you a cautionary warning, because it could play out as a bear flag. I don't think it will be, because the earnings had pretty big, massive move to the upside, along with probably very large volume. But overall, if this is a move to the upside, so basically A to B, let's say you get a pullback to this lower region here, you could be coming up into that $17 region. So again, I would be looking for the 50 daily retest versus trying to buy in at this point. If it runs, let it run. Look for better opportunities once it has a structural retest. But for now, I think it's an interesting stock to keep on your watch list. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you would like anything improved or you found anything interesting in particular. We always want your feedback, and I thank you for watching all the way to the end. Greatly appreciate it. Throw a like down on the video below. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, along with taking a look at our most recent viewed video that will be in the boxes coming up soon.